In today's video, I'll be uncovering the 5 types of retirees who are actually richer than 99% because of how they've built their financial lives. Most people think retirement wealth is about the size of your portfolio. But after years of working with retirees, I've learned something very different. Some of the richest, most secure, most confident retirees don't have the biggest account balances. They have the right habits, the right decisions, and in one case, something that has nothing to do with money at all. And here is what most people never hear. One of these 5 types is completely overlooked in the financial planning world, yet it quietly determines how long your money lasts and how long you stay independent. So in today's video, I'll show you who these 5 types are, the hidden advantages they have, and how you can use their strategies to create a richer, safer retirement for yourself. So let's dive into the first type. And if this sounds like you might already be in a stronger position than most retirees, even if your savings account doesn't look like impressive on paper. Being mortgage-free is one of the simplest, most overlooked forms of wealth. Housing is the single biggest expense in retirement for every income level. It's larger than healthcare, larger than food, and larger than travel. And the impact of eliminating the payment is enormous. So if your mortgage is $2,500 a month and you eliminate that payment, it's like adding $600,000 to your portfolio using 5% withdrawal rate. But the biggest impact isn't even financial. When retirees stop sending that mortgage payment every month, something shifts. They feel grounded. They feel safe. The stress drops. A client told me, "I finally feel like my life fits inside my income." That sense of stability is its own form of wealth. And here is another big benefit. As we live 20, 25, even 30 years in retirement, housing costs become one of the biggest long-term threats. A paid-off home protects you from overdrawing your retirement account, market volatility, and the fear of losing your independence. It also gives you options. You can renovate your house to age in place. You can downsize and use the equity to add to your savings. You can use a reverse mortgage safely later in life, or you can pass on your home free and clear to your heirs. And if you're wondering how to put yourself on this path, here are a few simple steps that can help you get there. If you're more than 10 years away from retirement, making just one extra mortgage payment a year can take 4 to 6 years off your loan. Increasing that to 2 extra payments a year can shorten your mortgage by 7 to 8 years, which dramatically reduces the pressure on your future income. If you're within 3 to 5 years of retiring, consider redirecting another $1,000 a month toward your principal so that you can pay off your loan at the same time that you retire. And if you're already retired and are still carrying your mortgage, it may make sense to use about 5 to 8% of your portfolio to pay it off, especially if the mortgage is consuming 30 or more percent of your monthly withdrawals. Eliminating the payment can instantly reduce your withdrawal rate and strengthen the long-term durability of your savings. When your home is fully paid off, something shifts emotionally. Your retirement feels more stable, your income stretches further, and your financial foundation becomes dramatically more resilient for the decades ahead. Now let's talk about the retiree who understands something most people never consider. Taxes, not just investment returns, determine how long your money lasts. I work with a couple with about 1.1 million saved. Their secret wasn't aggressive investing. It was eliminating the tax drag. So here is what they did. First, they shifted $400,000 from active mutual funds into ETFs and eliminated $7,000 in unwanted gains each year. They captured $12,000 in losses one year and $9,000 the next year using smart tax loss harvesting. When they retired, they lived off their brokerage account for 4 years, keeping taxable income at $45,000 to $55,000 a year, which also allowed them to convert $70,000 annually to Roth IRAs and reduce required minimum distributions or RMDs further down the road. They delayed Social Security to widen their low tax window, and they used qualified charitable deductions to reduce taxable RMDs when they turned 70 and a half. As a result of these smart tax moves, their money lasted 8 years longer than a similar couple who ignored taxes. Most retirees will live longer than past generations, which means a larger portion of their lifetime income will be taxed. If you can shrink your tax footprint, you extend your retirement. If you want to move into this elite category, there are several practical steps you can begin taking right now. Start by gradually repositioning old tax-inefficient mutual funds into low-cost ETFs or individual stock. Making this shift over several years prevents large unexpected tax bills and reduces the drag on your long-term return. Next, incorporate tax loss harvesting into your annual routine. Whenever markets dip, selling an investment at a loss and immediately buying a similar replacement can save you anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000 a year in taxes without changing your overall strategy. Then take advantage of your Roth window, the years after you retire but before RMDs begin. During this period, you may be able to convert $30,000 to even $70,000 per year to a Roth IRA at low tax rates, building a pool of future tax-free income. And if you're charitably inclined, consider using qualified charitable distributions after age 7.5, which allow you to give directly from your IRA and reduce the taxable portion of your RMDs at the same time. When you take steps like this, the tax side of retirement becomes far more predictable and you gain a feeling of being firmly in control of your financial life. More of your savings stay available for your future and your money is able to support you for many more years. Before we move on, if you're starting to see yourself in one or more of these types and want to understand where you stand, I created a quick tool to help. It's called your Retirement Clarity Blueprint, a short 5-minute exercise with about a dozen questions that walk you through the same areas we've covered so far: your income sources, spending structure, and financial flexibility. Once you complete it, I'll send you a personalized video explaining how to use your results to strengthen your own retirement plan. You'll find the link in the description below, and I'll send you a video within 48 hours. All right, let's keep going. Because there is a type of retiree whose advantage doesn't come from investments or tax strategies at all. It comes from a habit that quietly transforms their entire experience of retirement. These are the intentional spenders, retirees who may not have the biggest portfolios, but often have the happiest lives. They're the ones who build joy, meaning, and connection into their days without needing a giant budget to do it. And one of my favorite examples is my client, Carol. Carol was a retired school teacher who had a $32 monthly pension, a $280,000 paid off home, and $180,000 in savings. Not a lot on paper, but she lived beautifully on about $2,800 a month. She spent intentionally on things that mattered. She had a $55 a month YMCA membership. She joined a pickleball league, volunteered at the local arts gallery. Her annual trip to Florida cost $700 because she stayed with her sister. And here is the math. A retiree spending $7,000 a month needs between $2.1 to $2.5 million saved. A retiree spending $4,000 a month needs $1.4 million. Carol needed far less. If you want to start building this kind of resilience and satisfaction into your own retirement, there are a few simple practical practices that can make a big difference. Begin by tracking your spending for 90 days. Most people are surprised to discover that $300 to $700 a month is slipping away on things they don't actually care about. Seeing those patterns clearly, without judgment, gives you the power to make choices that genuinely support the life you want. Next, try living on your projected retirement number for 1 month. Treat it like a trial run. This helps you understand what feels comfortable, what feels tight, and where small adjustments could make your long-term plan much more sustainable. From there, identify and remove 3 expenses that cost a lot but add very little value to your life. These changes often free up more financial breathing room than people expect, and the impact compounds across a long retirement. And finally, experiment with lower cost sources of joy. Pickleball, gardening, hiking, volunteering, community events. These activities tend to create more connection, purpose, and fulfillment than high-cost conveniences or impulse purchases ever could. When you spend intentionally, you create a retirement that feels full rather than fragile. Your lifestyle becomes easier to sustain, your stress level drops, and the years ahead feel more open and enjoyable. A life built on connection and purpose sets you up beautifully, but only if you can stay healthy enough to enjoy it. And that brings us to the retiree almost no financial advisor talks about. Yet it's one of the most important, the health span rich retiree. Because here in America, your physical health is your financial health. Mobility, strength, and independence don't just determine how you feel day to day. Over a 20, 30-year retirement, they directly determine how much you spend, how long you stay in your home, and how much of your savings you get to keep for the things you actually enjoy. Let me tell you about Mark. Mark wasn't a lifelong athlete or health nut. He was just someone who paid attention. In his late 50s, he realized he didn't want to spend his retirement bouncing between doctor's appointments and prescriptions. So he got proactive. He hired a personal trainer and showed up 3 to 4 days a week, even when it was inconvenient. He focused on building and maintaining muscle. Nothing extreme, just consistent strength and mobility work. He started eating in a way that supported his energy rather than draining it. And when he retired, he added concierge medical care so that he could get longer appointments, faster attention, and preventive guidance instead of rushed, reactive treatment. All in, Mark invested about $4,300 a year into his health, less than what many retirees spend on eating out, travel upgrades, or impulse purchases. But because of those decisions, he avoided chronic conditions that could have cost $12,000 to $18,000 a year, and he stayed mobile nearly a decade longer than average. That 1 decade is the difference between living your retirement and managing it. And the payoff wasn't only financial. Mark stayed independent, confident, and fully engaged with the world around him. His days had energy and freedom, not limitations. He traveled more, moved more, and lived more. Not because he had more money, but because his body allowed him to. If you want to move into this category, here are a few steps you can start with. Begin by getting a mobility and strength assessment. Knowing exactly where you are gives you a baseline to protect and improve. From there, incorporate strength training into your weekly routine. 3 to 4 sessions a week focused on functional movements are enough to maintain muscle mass and independence. And if it's within reach, explore concierge medicine or membership-based primary care. The personalized attention and preventive focus can save you both money and stress in the long run. And if you have access to an HSA, make it a priority. Consistently contributing $4,000 to $8,000 a year can leave you with $100,000 or more of tax-free money for future healthcare needs. Taking care of your health is one of the few decisions that pays off physically, emotionally, and financially at the same time. The better you feel, the more you're able to enjoy the retirement you worked so hard to build, and the longer your money lasts to support it. We've talked about the foundation of a secure retirement: housing, taxes, spending, and health. But the retiree who benefits the most is the one who turns all of these pieces into a flexible, intentional system. This is the retiree type I encourage everyone to model: the deliberate planner. Let me show you what that looks like. One couple I work with did this beautifully. They organized their spending into 3 tiers: about $3,800 a month for essentials, $2,000 a month for lifestyle, and $1,200 a month for luxuries like travel upgrades and special outings. They kept a $90,000 cash reserve, roughly 3 years of essentials, so they never had to tap their portfolio during downturns. And they set simple guardrails. If their investments dropped 15%, they temporarily paused lifestyle and luxury tiers until things recovered. Because of this structure, unexpected events never turned into crisis. When a $14,000 medical bill hit, their plan absorbed it. When markets fell in 2022, they paused the $1,200 luxury tier for a few months and protected their principal. Everything stayed intact. If you want to bring this level of resilience into your own retirement, start by defining your essential, lifestyle, and luxury tiers so you know what's required and what can change. Build 1 to 3 years of essential expenses in cash. Set clear guardrails for when to tighten spending and when it's safe to ease back in. And check in on your plan regularly, whether that's monthly, quarterly, or a few times a year. When your retirement is designed to adapt, life feels lighter and more predictable. You gain clarity and peace, and your savings support you more comfortably over the long run. At the end of the day, deliberate planning gives you the one thing money can buy: time. If you're starting to see how being even one of these types can help you have a better retirement, I created a quick tool to help. It's called your Retirement Clarity Blueprint, a short 5-minute exercise with about a dozen questions that walk you through the same areas we've talked so far: your income sources, spending, structure, and financial flexibility. Once you complete it, I'll send you a personalized video walking through your results and showing you how to strengthen your plan for lasting retirement security. Click the link in the description and I'll send you your personalized video within 48 hours. I'll see you in the next video.